What's up, guys? Alright, so I'm back with another video. So before we head into the video, I'm just gonna say I'm not a financial advisor. Everything that I say and teach on this YouTube channel is only purely for educational purposes. Alright, okay, so with that being said, this video might get a little draggy, so if you feel that it's too long, you can watch it in parts. I suggest like the video, save the video somewhere so that you can come back to the video and watch it. Alright, so let's jump straight into the video. I'm gonna show you guys trade breakdowns of yesterday's 2 trades that I took and today's 1 trade that I took and also some bonus trades that I took, so that you guys can understand the concept of how I trade. Alright, with that being said, let's head back to yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna go to okay, I think this might be a little too messy for you guys. Give me a moment, let me change my charts. Alright, so if you guys can see, this is the yesterday's 2 o'clock candle. Right, so what we do first, we mark the highs. Right, we mark the high and the low. Right, so bear in mind, this whole setup was when I was working and all, so I saw it wrongly. Right, it's my bad. I could have capitalized 3 trades yesterday, but instead I only got 2 because I saw something wrongly. Right, okay, so we mark the high and the low. Right, next, what do? We find for key levels. Right, so this is actually a key level itself because it's like equal highs, you see, these 2 candles. But we're not going to look at that first. We're going to mark the most obvious ones first. All right, so this is liquidity because this is the swing high. Right, this is a swing low, so we're going to make this a liquidity. Okay, so if you don't know what's a swing high or swing low, basically the middle candle which is higher than the left and the right. Swing low is the middle candle which is lower than the left and the right. Right, so this is a swing low which can be used as a point of liquidity. This can be used as a point of liquidity. This fair value gap can be used as a liquidity, so on and so forth. You get the idea. All right, so let me just take a look at this. Yeah, correct. Okay, so next we're gonna drop to the 15-minute to see if we have any other liquidity. So look at this. As I said, right, this is a liquidity point also because it has equal highs. Right, so we mark the liquidity point correctly because all this liquidity is here. Right, and then we have another swing low over here which can be also used as liquidity. All right, so with that being said, we are done. Our setup is done. We gotta wait for the trade to happen. Right, so what I did, I waited for the trade, and exactly at this candle, I have no idea why. I believe that it could be like shrunk like this or what when I saw the charts, and I thought, okay, the candle swept the highs and the lows. Right, it swept the high and it already made the setup and it went down and hit the take profit, so I can't trade this anymore. But in reality, right, what actually happened was it didn't sweep the high, it swept the low. Right, swept the liquidity here. And when I looked back at the end of the day on the 5 minutes, right, I believe it was the 5 minutes. Is it the 5 minutes or was it a 15 minutes? Wait, let me take a look. Was it the 5 or the 15? I completely forgot. Give me a moment. Let me try to refresh my memory. Swap liquidity. Oh yeah, okay, so it was the 5 minutes, right? This next candle closed in between these 2 candles. So okay, firstly, it's not a CRT in my books because I would prefer the candle to sweep the previous candle and then close inside. All right, but there is also a theory, right? It's just a theory that when a candle wants to go down, it goes down like that, sweeps that goes up the previous candle, and then goes down, and then goes up the previous candle, and then goes down, something like this that you can see, right? It goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. That's what technically would happen. But if something like this happen, it doesn't even go down, right? It just plays around here. That is a possible sign of reversal. If you guys want to take notes, just take notes, go and look into the market, look at the charts, see whether it happens. All right, so this is already a C setup, I would say. Eventually I would still not take the trade, but if I wanted to be aggressive that day, I could have took the trade, right? So let's go down to the 1 minute. As we can see, a fair value gap right here, right? Maybe let me make this orange so it's clear. Is it clearer? Dark orange. All right, so this dark orange right here is a inverse fair value gap because of this candle, right? And then we have an order block here, right? And yeah, so it retapped our order block, it retapped whatever, right? You can even enter it off here. So if I was to enter here, right, and put the take profit here, let's see what happens. Right, plays around a bit, taps into our order block, and eventually hits the take profit, right? So I could have capitalized there, but I didn't because number one, it's not the right thing to do, right? I shouldn't have done that. So in a way, I followed my rules. I didn't take that, right? Okay, so now let's go to the next candle. Since I didn't trade the 2 o'clock candle, I went ahead to trade the 3 o'clock candle. Right, so let's do the same thing. Range high, range low, and this is already 8 minutes, guys. This is what I was trying to explain to you guys. It's gonna be a little long, right? But I'm gonna try to make it fast. All right, so range high, range low, yeah, swing highs, right? We got a swing high here. And do we have a swing low? We don't have a swing low, but we have a fair value gap right here. All right, just gonna keep it at that. We go to the 15 minutes. Let's see what happens. Right, it went up, it went down, yada yada yada. Okay, but what I did, right, I entered aggressively because I missed the 2 o'clock candle, right? So I wanted to enter aggressively. As you can see here, we did a little sweep above this candle right here, and then we closed inside that candle. So that already shows me a 5-minute CRT, right? So I was waiting to see if both my criteria were filled. Number one, inverse fair value gap, done. Order block close below, done, right? So I entered a trade right here. Stop loss above here. And take profits all the way down here, and that was like a 1:7, right? And eventually it hit take profit. All right, okay, I'm not gonna play this whole thing out, but what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna close out the replay mode so that you can see it actually hit. Alright, as you can see here, right over here, it hit. Alright, so that was the second trade that I took, and my laptop is lagging. Alright, so these are the notes that I actually wrote. My laptop just froze, sorry guys. Okay. Alright, so these are the notes that I actually wrote. So for the first trade, right, I entered off the 5-minute CRT. I'm not sure if you guys can see. If you can't, just zoom in on the screen. I entered on the 5-minute CRT. Alright, there was no 15-minute CRT when I entered. Alright, secondly, there was a 15-minute CRT being formed but it formed later, right? So it was an aggressive entry from the 5-minute CRT. If I took that loss one, won one. What was loss one? Oh, yeah. Now I know what I wanted to explain to you guys. Before the 5-minute CRT even played out, there was something that happened. What was that something? Yeah, there was the something. Alright. So I wanted to enter from this, right? Because as you can see, right? There was this gap right here, right? So I thought like, okay, why not? It already has a order block. It has a inverse fair value gap. I can take a trade, right? But when I went to the brokerage account to take the trade, I didn't see this fair value gap there. So that's when it got me thinking, wait, it could be a fake fair value gap. It could just be a glitch in the charts or something, right? So that's something you guys got to look out for, right? So eventually I didn't take this, right? Because it wasn't nice to me, so I didn't take it. And I also had a 5-minute CRT on it as well. So because I spotted that, I didn't take it. I waited a bit longer, and then I had another 5-minute CRT, as you can see marked with the purple lines, right? So the 5-minute CRT price went back up. I took this over here as what I showed just now, and yeah, we just rode it all the way. Alright, so now you guys know how I enter a trade, right? So I wouldn't need the other chart anymore. I'm just going to show you guys from this chart itself. Okay, let's go. So the third trade, right? Same thing. This is the green lines, right? Let me go to the one up. Oh, and by the way, the setup is always a A+ setup if you take the entry from a 15-minute CRT instead of a 5-minute CRT. Just keep that in mind. All right. So let's look at this candle right here. All right. So this was my 8 o'clock range candle, right? So this was the high, this was the low, right? Yeah, so this was the high, this was the low. You know how we work, we mark all the liquidity levels. So we had a liquidity here, we had a liquidity here, we had a 1 hour fair value gap, this whole gray block right here, right? So I was waiting for a sweep, and as you can see, yeah, we had a sweep of the liquidity, tapped into the fair value gap, even swept the fair value gap, right? And then this candle, right, made the CRT, but this is the 15-minute candle. Remember, I always enter aggressively, right? So if we entered the 15-minute CRT, our entry would have been right here, right? But since I entered on the 5-minute CRT, my entry was a bit lower over here. And let me explain to you why my entry was here, right? So as you can see, there's the 5-minute CRT, right? It swept the low and then it closed back into the previous candle, right? So when we head back to 1 minute, we can actually see the sweep and then the CRT of the 5-minute where it closed, right? Next thing we got to look out for, did it close any what do you call that, fair value gaps, right? Did we close any? As you can see, no, we didn't close any fair value gaps, but we made an order block right here, right? So I wanted to re-enter from this point, this line right here, these dotted lines that you can see on the screen right here, right? But because we created that 5-minute CRT, I just entered it off. I didn't even wait for the inverse of the fair value gap, because our 15-minute CRT was here, right? We would have entered here, this purple blue line right here, right? But instead, I was confident that yeah, the trade's gonna go up, so I entered it here, and as you can see, we hit TP, All right. No, did we hit TP? No, this was different trade. Wait. My laptop is lagging to the extent that I have no idea why it's lagging so bad. Yeah, okay, so we didn't hit TP for that trade, but what actually happened was we hit break even. I took out some partials and then I just closed the trade. All right, so as you can see, it went to hit TP and then hit our break even point, which is here, and then we are out of the trade. Right, so both 15-minute and the 5-minute CRT was formed. We entered early only based off the order block, so this is considered a B setup. Right, not even a B plus, it's a B setup. Right, so let's go over to today. Right, we had a beautiful trade during London session today. Same entry and everything. Right, so we had the let me see, yeah, right here we had the same thing. We had the high of the 1 hour, low of the 1 hour. We had a 1 hour fair value gap right here. We had liquidity points right here. Right, so what happened, it went down. Same thing, we entered off a 5-minute CRT. Let me show you the CRT. Right, it already swept the 1 hour fair value gap, right? And then we had a CRT right here, this pink candle, and then this gray candle which swept the previous candle and closed into the pink candle. Right, so that was our entry point. We entered, it went straight to drawdown. Right, we were so close to getting stopped out, but after a little while, what happened is that it just flew right up to our take profit. While I was sending this trade, like the moment I entered, right, it's about, I guess it was 10 minutes. Right, within 10 minutes, by the time I screenshot, I go to Discord and I send this, it already hit my break even. Right, once it hit my break even, it hit TP. All right, so that was the trade for today, guys. That's all. We made about, I guess, 364 bucks, if I'm not wrong. I'm not too sure, I gotta check it again. But yeah, we hit TP with that same exact entry model. Right, so this recent trade, which is like, I guess it's right now, right? Yeah, it was today, like literally earlier. I wanted to take a trade, but I didn't. So that's why I put this here, to show you guys, to explain to you guys why I didn't take this trade. All right, so let's go to the 15-minute. I marked the highs and lows, etc, etc. Right, the highs were here. Let me see if I can make it like that. All right, the highs were here, the lows were here. Ignore this green light, just focus on these two green lights. Right, we had a high here, we had a low here, we had a fair value gap of a 15-minute right here. Right, so I was waiting for it to sweep. It swept. Right, it swept, but there was no CRT. It swept, no CRT. All right, so what I did, I looked at the 5 minutes. You see this candle, right? It swept, next candle swept, went up, but it didn't close into the candle or higher than the candle. Right, it closed right on the wick. So that is a telltale indicator for me that, you know, price might want to still go down. Remember earlier when I said, when price wants to go down, it goes down, sweeps up, goes down. Right, that's a typical indicator that it's going to go down. Right, next typical indicator is when the price doesn't close above the closing price of the previous candle. I repeat, when the price doesn't close above the closing of the previous candle. Right, so that's what made me think about it, and I was like, nah, I'm not taking the trade. And good enough. Right, even if, right, you wanted to take the trade, you would have seen all these telltale indicators of entering the trade, which is the inverse fair value gap right here. Right, inversed, and the order block being formed. Many people would have entered. Right, but because of the two indicators that I told you, right, how price likes to move, I didn't take the trade and it flew all the way down. Right, so what I did next, I waited for the next candle because I wanted to take a trade, right? So I waited for the next hourly candle, which is what the green line you saw just now. So now let me remove all the drawings. Let me start from the scratch, right? This, as you can see right now, it's already 11, right? I'm not going to trade anymore. I stopped trading at 11 and I don't have any sign of a sweep or anything like that as of now. So that being said, I'm done with trading. So let's go to the bonus, right? Bonus. So I'm going to show you two trades. Same thing, right? Let me remove all the break-even lines. You guys already know, right? What's the entry criteria? 1 hour candle, right? Let's just go through it. 1 hour candle. We had a fair value gap right here. Right, a fair value gap right here. 1 hour candle. Let's go to the 15-minute. All right, let's see. We have a CRT. This was yesterday, by the way. So do we have a CRT? Yes, no, we don't. We don't have a 15-minute CRT, right? But do we have a 5-minute CRT? I believe yes, because I remember showing this trade to my Discord. 5-minute CRT, right? It was a 5-minute. Where's my CRT? Why am I not seeing it? Oh yeah, this was the CRT. Right, so you see this swept below, close into that candle, right? So this was the CRT. We should have entered here. No, wait, where's the entry? It was somewhere here, right? We should have entered somewhere there. Right? But I waited, the price went down lower, I entered, and we took the trade all the way up. Right? If you can see, if you were just, you just wanted to do it more crazy, right? You could have just entered here. The moment this closed, you could have entered, right? That's why I keyed in here, but the real entry, right, was somewhere around here. I remember it was like here or here, right? It was somewhere around here. And it was a decent RR, right? It's 1:3.47. Okay, so that was the first trade, and the second trade was actually today. This I posted on Discord when the setup was being formed, right? So let's go back. So you can see the green lines right here, right? It's the highs and the lows, right? So we go to the 15-minute, we wait for a sweep and a liquidity sweep, right? So waited. See this part already swept this liquidity right here, right? So waited, right? If a 15-minute CRT, you want to wait for a 15-minute CRT, you can do it, but at times it just doesn't form, right? Like as you can see here, you can still use the 5-minute. I'm not saying you can't, you still can, but if you really want A plus all the time, then you gotta wait for a 15-minute CRT, right? So I went to the 5 minutes, I saw a 5-minute CRT right here, right? Went up, swept, closed below, I entered the trade right there after confirming that there was a inverse fair value gap and an order block being created, right? So for some of them who trade this model, they would like to, a smaller stop loss. So what they can do, they can enter the trade right here. So let's just see whether it plays out, right? From here instead of the entry that I took, right? It eventually didn't, tap into it. But if let's say you wanted to tap back into the fair value gap and only then you want to take the trade, you can do that. It eventually tapped also, but for me, I'm just entering here, right? And it just went straight to TP. Okay, so now you guys know the way I trade. You guys know the model I trade. What you do with that information is totally up to you. If you guys want to know more about this and all that, right now I'm still giving this course for free. Like, whatever you see is whatever I do. I'm not withholding information or anything. Whatever you see is what I do. But in the future, right, there's definitely things I'm gonna add into it, right? So if you guys want to know more and all that, look at the description below. There will be a Discord link, right? Copy the link, put on your browser, join the Discord. You can ask me questions there, you can ask anything there, right? There's LB Trader there. That's my co-founder. He trades gold and all that. You can ask him many questions, man, if you guys are trading gold, right? But he uses his strategy. I use my strategy. So if you guys want to learn his strategy, you can check him out too. All right. And that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.